Two people. All right. We know the type. We know the hurt mother Gothel caused Rapunzel entangled when she couldn't sacrifice her own beauty for Rapunzel's freedom. And we know the damage the evil queen could have done in Snow White when she couldn't bear the fact that she wasn't the fairest of them all. But do we really know the type? When we see that, do we recognize the potential for a personality disorder? Or do we just think they're a mean person? The Mayo Clinic defines a narcissist as someone who has a mental condition in which people have an inflated sense of self, a deep need for attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy. While I don't have someone in my personal life that is diagnosed as a narcissist, I do find it very important to recognize the traits of a narcissist in order to protect you and those around you from the emotional distress it can cause. So today I'm going to be unmasking some common personality traits of a narcissist, refuting some common misconceptions about NPD, or narcissistic personality disorder, and giving you some tools to help communicate and handle narcissistic relationships. To fully understand NPD, we must first look at some common symptoms. The first symptom is that narcissists often struggle with the lack of empathy. Help Guide explains that narcissists never fully recognize the ability to identify with someone else's feelings or put themselves in someone else's shoes. This is often because they see other people as objects used for their own personal gain rather than their own individual beings. However, it's not always malicious. Sometimes it's just oblivious. They literally don't understand what else to do. The second symptom is that everything is a competition to a narcissist. This is often because of a traumatic childhood in which they felt overlooked or abandoned. Their outward appearance and seeming successful to other people is very important to them, and they will go to great lengths to hide their imperfections. Psychology Today explains that whenever someone around them, especially those close to them, has success or has a win, narcissists find it painful to them because they see it as a missed opportunity for themselves to gain a token of love or adoration. The last symptom is they have a constant need for praise. Narcissists expect adoration. They often have a superficial charm which gets them lots of friends in the beginning, but intimate or close relationships are difficult because the other person can't fulfill their needs. Narcissists often also fish for compliments and will go to great lengths just to get a simple, "You look cute today," or "You did a great job on this." Now that we know some common symptoms, let's look at some common misconceptions. The first misconception is that NPD is common. Recovery Village states that only about 0.5% of Americans actually are diagnosed with narcissism. That's only about 1 in 200. However, it is more common to have narcissistic personality traits than actually being diagnosed. The second misconception is that people believe that narcissists can't get close to anyone. In fact, it is common and likely for narcissists to gain authentically close relationships. It just takes more work, communication, and identification of the problem. The last misconception is that all narcissists think they're better than everyone else. In fact, many narcissists struggle with a lack of self-confidence and self-medicate themselves by appearing confident to other people in order to be liked. Now that we know some common truths and lies about NPD, let's look at some tools on how to help communicate and handle narcissistic relationships. The first tool you can use is to try not to take it personally. Although it may be difficult, especially in close relationships, it is very important to remember that it is often the internal struggle they're having within themselves that is projecting onto you. Another tool you can use is to try not to argue back. A relationship website called Paired Life explains that narcissists often misinterpret, misunderstand, and misperceive things because they think that people did something they did not do, did not say, or did not think. You may find that whenever you have a conversation with a narcissist, you get off track because you have differing opinions on what actually happened. So, to get back on track, it is better to just stop arguing because they will not understand where you're coming from. The last tool you can use is to set emotional boundaries. This is very important because narcissists do not understand where you're coming from, so it is important to set emotional boundaries so you don't overinvest yourself or expect something they cannot provide. Narcissism is something that can hurt those around you and yourself very deeply. It is important to understand symptoms, common misconceptions, and some common tools you can use to help protect yourself and those around you from the disorder and the emotional distress it can cause. So, next time you watch Tangled in Snow White, be sure to remember some things you learned about narcissism and the ways it can hurt people and what you can do to help. Thanks.